in for about an hour and 15-minute, hour and 20-minute show. So thanks you all for coming out. Everybody have a good summer? Yeah, summer was alright for me. My wife and I had a little issue. Anybody know what happens, what you're supposed to do if your dog gets sprayed by a skunk? Tomato juice, right? That's what everybody says. But I found out recently that you can actually use Massago and it really covers up the scent. Well, my wife and I, we live on a little farm, and earlier in the year, we managed to get a couple small miniature donkeys, and it managed to get into a skunk den, and it got sprayed. So I had to go to the store and pick up some Massago. Now, I went to Walgreens, I went up there with about 70 bottles. Now, the girl behind the counter was looking at me, and she had this weird, perplexed look on her face, and the only thing I could think of was, my ass really stinks, and this is the only thing that will take care of it. So, that kind of made the day. Summer is also one of those time of year that I either like or I don't like, depends on what happens to me, because I always get into some kind of something, right? So my wife and I went up to Mount Kat to do a little hiking, and I left the windows down on my truck because it was like 90 degrees out. So we're hiking all day. At the end of the day, I get on the truck and we start driving down the highway, and I hear, next thing you know, I'm getting stung. Well, bees decided to make a nest in the back of my truck. So don't go hiking and leave your windows down on a 90-degree day, because bees decide they want to, make a nest and attack you when you're on the highway. That's not good. So Halloween just passed. Did everybody have a good Halloween? I had a little bit of a mix-up this year. My buddy says to me, I asked him, I said, what are you going to do for Halloween? He says, I'm going to go abroad. Sounds like a great idea to me. I figured, hey, going abroad, why not? So on Halloween day, I go over and knock on his door. No answer. I call him up. I'm like, hey, Joe, where are you? He says, I told you, I'm going abroad. I said, well, I'm abroad too. I got my long hair on. I got my high heels on, my skirt. I'm looking pretty good. He's like, no, stupid, I'm over in Europe. Well, that's the fun kettle of fish you got me into. Now I gotta walk home, right? And as I'm walking home, I'm getting these cat calls. Guy rolls down the window. Hey, baby, you want to get in the car and go for a ride with me? I got a bag of Skittles. A bag of Skittles, I'm worth a Snickers at least. I mean, come on, I'm looking good. Oh, boy. So, COVID's been a pain in the butt for everybody, right? A lot of people have been vaccinating their pets, so their pets stay safe. Well, I've heard a lot of controversy where a lot of people are saying they don't want to vaccinate their pets because they're afraid they're going to, they're going to get autism. It's like, how do you know your dog or cat's going to get autism? Most of them lay around after they lick themselves and sleep half the day, so you're never even going to know, right? Some people are crazy. So the other thing I've noticed recently, I saw an ad or an article in the paper that said in the state of Iowa, they have a legal law that women can be fired if they're too beautiful at their work. How insane is that? How would you approach your employee as a manager and say, excuse me, you're too beautiful, you're fired. Because they're going to be like, hey, I really need this job. So what are you going to say? Well, Susie, if you ugly yourself up and come in, you can stick around. But the next time you come in here beautiful, you're fired. I just don't get it. Another thing I saw recently in the news, Miami-Dade, Florida. They have a massive issue with peacocks, and they're going crazy. Like they're attacking cars and vehicles and houses and people and stuff. So, you know what their bright idea is? They want to catch them one by one and give them all vasectomies. Right? That sounds crazy, don't it? This is absolutely true. That's going to cost thousands and thousands of dollars. I would just round them all up in a big old net, take them out in the woods and let them go. It'd be a lot cheaper, wouldn't it? You know, a couple bucks and you're all set to go. Let's see. This is the holiday season, right? So pumpkin spice has been everywhere, and I'm sure somebody's been talking about, you know, your pumpkin lattes, your pumpkin pie, pumpkin whatever, right? So I was thinking, why don't we make a fart pad made out of pumpkin spice? You know, that way when you pass gas, your fart smells like a pumpkin pie. Which might confuse somebody if you're around Thanksgiving and you're walking through a kitchen and, you know, there's no pumpkin pie, but you let one rip and someone goes, pumpkin pie. You wish that was a pie, don't you? Okay. All right, so tonight's gonna be a nice show, but we're looking for volunteers, so we're hoping that you guys can volunteer. Come up here, we're gonna have a great show. Chad Burke is one of the best New England hypnotists that we have available. He's done a lot of traveling throughout New England and even further down south. So please give Chad a nice round of applause, and please be willing to come up here and